Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. 2025 is going to be a Ravel year. We'll see how that actually shakes out in terms of, recordings being released and whatnot. But I thought I would launch the Ravel year with a little commentary about some really bad Ravel. It's a good way to begin a composer celebration with some lousy recordings of his stuff. The Ravel year specifically is going to be the fact that he was born in 1875. So this is the 150th. So that's cause for celebration. The problem with the Ravel year, and you heard it here first, folks, is that, all of his music is extremely popular and he didn't write a lot of it. So we are going to be hard up against the useless duplication of repertoire syndrome. And it will be very interesting to see how various labels and artists approach it. And I have one approach, the awful approach, right here, because I've reviewed this for ClassicsToday.com, but I wanted to talk about it again, just as an example of what not to do and how crazy things get and how silly. This is the complete orchestral works with the Tonhalle Orchestra of Zurich under Lionel Bringuier, who's no longer there. I mean, they got rid of him soon after doing this, I think. Let's see, Ray Chen is the violinist and Cigana. Ugh. And Yuja Wang is playing the two piano concertos without any special feeling or affinity for the music whatsoever. I reviewed that separately. You can see those reviews at ClassicsToday.com. Go ahead and take a look. They're free. You can just look them up. But as far as these performances, they are just awful. Really, really, really bad. I mean, they're bad in many, many ways. The balances are awful. The playing is not particularly distinguished. I mean, what's this guy's name? Bringuier has very little feeling for the music. He rushes the end of the Rhapsody Espagnole. He messes up the balances, and Daphnis and Chloe, the brass playing, leaves something to be desired. I mean, the worst thing was Bolero, where it sounds like a snare drum concerto. The snare drum's like way out in front. The whole orchestra is a dimly focused blob in the back. It's just ridiculous. It was awful. But the reason this was so bad is not just because the performances suck. It says something about the whole status of the industry. I mean, this came out in, 2016, it looks like. It's been a while. It was licensed to Deutsche Grammophon by the orchestra. In other words, the orchestra gave DG a license to issue this and probably paid them to release it. And it's still available. I mean, it's still around. I see this around. But the crazy thing about it, the ridiculous thing about it, is that aside from individual discs of this repertoire by great artists like Karajan and people like that, Deutsche Grammophon has 3 complete Ravel cycles, Ravel orchestral music cycles. You have, going in reverse, in backwards order, you have Pierre Boulez with the Berlin Philharmonic, some of the most gorgeous Ravel ever, and probably the best things that Boulez did in his late years. Just stunning, astounding, fabulous performances of all the major Ravel orchestral works. And he did the piano concertos too, but the major orchestral works are the thing. Really, really amazing. And so if you have that, why would you want to issue this? Something which is patently inferior, even if they pay you to do it. Because remember, it's your label, it's your label's reputation for excellence that's essentially on the block here. And it doesn't make any sense at all to sacrifice it just to do this, unless they were desperate for the money. I don't know. So there's that. Then going back a little further, you have Claudio Abbado's London Symphony Ravel cycle, which is also beautifully done. It's perfect music for Abbado because, as we all know, he tends to be kind of a micromanager, and Ravel was a Swiss watchmaker. He was also into extraordinary precision, and Abbado does a lovely job with it. The only issue with that cycle, I think, is the somewhat diffuse digital recording in Daphnis and Chloe. It begins at such a low dynamic level, you could barely hear it. But the performances themselves are lovely. Absolutely lovely. You've got the Bolero with people cheering at the end of it, a gorgeous complete Mother Goose. I mean, it's music that they all just really sink their teeth into. It's a gorgeous Ravel cycle that was broken up very quickly and, only exists in pieces now, as far as I know. Then, going back still further, you have Seiji Ozawa with the Boston Symphony, one of the most underrated Ravel cycles that has ever been done. It's absolutely excellent. It got shat on when it came out, largely because it wasn't Charles Munch, and because Ozawa was supposed to be inferior to all those French people, and he wasn't. It's a stunning Ravel cycle, wonderfully well recorded for the most part, with performances of the major works that are as good as any out there. I mean, his Daphnis is tremendous. I mean, the Bolero is explosive. It's really great. The Mother Goose Ballet. Oh my God, it has just beautiful, most beautiful final chord for the strings that you've ever heard in your life. I mean, they're just wonderful standout moments. And it's a cycle that Deutsche Grammophon did nothing for. Really did nothing, probably because they already had a lot of Ravel. But they have these 3 Ravel cycles. I wonder what will happen during the Ravel year. Will things get reissued? What will get reissued? Why will it get reissued? Will they promote it? No, of course not. They won't promote it. And in the meantime, here this is. Why? Why? What's the point? It's the worst, easily the worst of the 4. It's one of the worst of any of them. And they've got it, because I guess they were paid to do it or it was licensed. Really, really dumb. And so we may have occasion to talk about other silly and foolish things that the record labels do in honor of Ravel's 150th. It remains to be seen, but I wanted to bring this up now just so you could have an example of some of the silliness we'll be putting up with, and what there is. And the important thing is to remember what has been, so that we can correctly evaluate what will be and what is today. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.